Thank you, Madam Speaker. This amendment removes some language from the intent section. The language surrounding shooting sports and hunting and self-defense and some of the named firearms being not suitable for those purposes. And it also removes some language about hypermasculinity, Madam Speaker. So back in the day, when you would see a squad car, you would see a shotgun in the back. And as you know, I've moved through adulthood, that's changed. When you have a police officer, and he's mostly a person who's not acting offensively, he's mostly acting, or she is mostly acting defensively. If you have an officer, when the chips are down, what are they gonna grab from their center console or from their trunk? I guarantee they're gonna grab an AR-15. So that tells you, Madam Speaker, that that's a pretty good self-defense weapon. And indeed, an AR-15 is lightweight, it's modular, it's easy to use for women, it's a great weapon for women for self-defense. And indeed, at Sutherland Springs, when a shooter was shooting up a church, and it's terrible, illegally possessing a firearm, he wasn't allowed to possess a firearm, but he had one anyway, the neighbor with the AR-15 is the one that stopped the carnage. So, Madam Speaker, a gun is just a tool, and it depends on whose hands it's in. So I would submit that for the intent section, some of these weapons that are listed are very good for self-defense. As far as hunting, Madam Speaker, the weapon of choice for hunting, I had to ask some of my hunter family about this, would be, for small game, would be a .22 semi-automatic weapon, a rifle. And Madam Speaker, that's also outlawed in this bill. So these guns that we're outlawing are good for those purposes, and the intent section is inaccurate in that. But Madam Speaker, I'd like to also address the term hypermasculinity that's used in this bill. I have 7 kids, my husband and I have 7 kids, and we have 2 sons. And when I have prayed for them, when I have thought about how they would be interacting in this world as men, I pray for them to be leaders in their home, in their church, in their community. I pray for them to have self-control. I pray for them to be upright, Madam Speaker. And I would submit to you that we don't have too much masculinity in this culture. We have not enough. And Madam Speaker, I would worry about this language in this bill that is saying denigrating things about masculinity. And I would worry about the mental health of young boys who are subjected to this denigrating language about their masculinity. And it might cause the very...
The member's time has expired. Further remarks?